What's going on, everybody? Afflicted Gamer here. Welcome back to another Division video. It's Friday. It's time for the weekly vendor reset. You know what that means. I'm going to go from place to place, DC checkpoint to checkpoint to find out what the best items are for sale this week in the Division to save you guys the time and the trouble. So if the video is helpful, drop a like on it. It's much appreciated. And if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing for more Division content. And when it gets here, the Division 2. Friendly reminder to double check the blueprints vendor here in the terminal and the one at Camp Clinton, because if you own a 256 blueprint on whichever character you bought it on, it goes across all of them, meaning you can't see what is down here. And for the most part, I own all of the 256 blueprints. So double check here and double check Camp Clinton. Alright, for our exotics this week, just like the gear, if the talents are good, I will recommend it and tell you to optimize it if the score is low. So keep that in mind, and let's see what we have here. Determined, sustained, I'm going to say pass on that. The Historian, 150% headshot damage with Toxic, Vicious, and History repeats. If you like Vicious, you could reroll Toxic for something else and then optimize it. You will have to optimize it quite a bit. The headshot damage is right in the middle. The Pecan, not too bad. 20% damage to targets out of cover with Skilled, which you can reroll for something else. Competent and Pecan. Liberator, we're going to pass on that. MP5ST. Alright, if you really need a SMG and you're new to the Division, you could pick this up for PvE. Predatory is on it, so that's always nice, especially if you're running solo. Vicious and reroll sustained for something else. And it does have 22% crit hit chance on it already, so not too bad. The LVOA-C, 22% enemy armor damage, vicious, destructive, and intense. Intense is in the free slot, so you can reroll that for whatever talent you want, and you don't have to worry about meeting the weapon talent requirements. So absolutely, if you are new to the Division, don't pass this gun up. Alright, anything else? We've got a rapid chestplate, 1269 electronics, 4% all resistance, which you can reroll for something like skill haste, just as an example. Over 16,000 health and ammo capacity in the minor. So if you're not a fan of Vigorous or Barrett's bulletproof vest and you need a good vest for a skill build, I would pick this thing up for sure. Not a terrible specialized backpack, but we're going to pass on that. Cunning, nope. If that was over 260, I would probably recommend it for the new players, but I'm going to pass. Okay, let's move on and hope we have a decent week. Okay, at the Dark Zone Ops gear vendor here in the base of operations, again we have another MP5ST, this time 21.5% crit hit chance, brutal, ferocious, and destructive. Again, very good for PvE. You could literally leave that as is or reroll it however you wish.
Hey, maybe I'll see you again.
I'll see you next Friday, bro. And the final stop here in the base of operations will be at the gear vendor. There is one item for sale here, a prototype performance mod, 2% pulse critical hit damage. So if you're a fan of running pulse and you like to stack up your crit chance and crit damage, I would go ahead and pick a few of those up and put them on your build. Alright, if you make your way down to Camp Hudson, over to the gear vendor, there is one item for sale this week, and again, prototype performance mod, this time 7.5% support station duration. Perfect for builds like Reclaimer, but you can still use them even if you're just running the Immunizer or Med Station period. So pick it up if you need it. Okay, moving on up to Camp Clinton now. Once again, don't forget double check the blueprints vendor. I do own everything, so we're going to scoot on over to the special equipment vendor and look at the exotics over here. The Historian is actually much better in terms of talents in my opinion, because it has Unforgiving on it and it has higher headshot damage at 163%. I would reroll Cool Headed for something else and optimize this if I was going to pick up one of the two Historians, but the choice is obviously yours. If you like to run the Double Cassidy with Lone Star, you could go ahead and pick a couple of these up if you want to, but you will have to optimize them again. 308% stagger, reroll capable for something else, and you've got deadly and boomstick. The Liberator, however, is actually pretty good. 18% enemy armor damage with accurate, unforgiving, and responsive. It's unforgiving and responsive, why I'm pointing this out. Reroll accurate for something like deadly, and you have a perfect Liberator that you can use in either PvE or PvP, and of course, don't forget to optimize it. And the Pecan, again, has competent here, so it doesn't really matter which one you want to go ahead and take a look at. So, decent exotics up at Camp Clinton this week. As for everything else, I know people like to quickly see these items, so I'm going to scroll through them, but that was pretty much it. So, alright, let's move on. Okay, making your way down to the Ward Safe House, there is one item for sale here, which is an Inventive backpack, perfect for a skill build. 1237 electronics, 15.5% stability, which you can reroll for skill power and ammo capacity in the miner. So if you don't have one or you haven't tried one, absolutely pick this up and give it a go. Madison Stand will be your very last stop in the light zone, and there is one item for sale here. So if you missed out on the Damage to Elites mods last week, this week there is still some here. They're not 4%, but 205 stamina and 3% damage to elites. So pick them up if you need them.
No worries. Come back another time.
Alright, our first stop in the Dark Zone will be at 5th Ave. Once again, we actually have a LVOA-C. 19% enemy armor damage with Determined, Ferocious, and Competent. Perfect for PvE. You could literally leave that as is or reroll it however you wish. Either way, it's there if you want it and need it. Making your way up into the DZ-05 safe room, he's got one item for sale here, which will go nicely if you did pick up one of the LVOA-Cs or any other weapons. We've got Omega Rifle Suppressor Tan, 17.5% headshot damage, 4% crit hit damage, 3% crit hit chance with 45% reduced threat. So pick some of these up if you don't have ones with a higher percentage on them.
Oh, you'll be back.
I'll be back next Friday. Does that count? Okay, so that was everything we actually had for sale this week in the division. I went to every other location in the DZ, and sadly that was it. But in my opinion, overall this week was better than the past few weeks. A good couple of OCs, Omega Rifle Suppressor, the Liberator was really good, in terms of talents. Damage to Elites mods, some pretty good stuff. Hopefully there was an item at the Blueprints vendors that you guys wanted and or needed. So fingers crossed, and you guys can let me know that down in the comments section. So other than that, once again, I hope the video was helpful. Drop a like on it if so. Don't forget that you can always follow me on Twitter at AfflictedGamer, and the stream times for me to be live here on YouTube will be at the end of the video. Other than that, have a great week, agents, and I'll see you very soon in the next video or in the next live stream.